Brother, what's that?
MashaAllah, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, please consider a subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to keep up with my videos. So I've always said that it's not the easiest thing living in the West as a Muslim, and I feel that perhaps more so for the religious, more conservative Muslims who really want to get down and practice their faith. And I think this applies to, well, not only Islam but other religions as well. Mainly Islam though, because Muslims are the ones who are, let's say, most practicing, right? So on an institutional level, I'd say that there's certain laws and policies that are really crunching down on ensuring that we are all swayed towards this liberal secular way of doing things. So in today's video, I will be reacting to a video by Zishan of Smile to Jannah, where the title goes by British Court Bans Muslim Prayer in School. So as you can see by the title, this is concerning as a Muslim. I mean, if any institution is wanting to perhaps ban you from performing your daily salah, then there is a deep issue, I think, that one should take with it as a Muslim. In any case, let's get into the video and see what Zishan's reaction is about.
Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. Don't forget the Palestinian brothers and sisters in your du'as. I'm going to leave a link in the description in case you want to donate to a charity that has a 100% donation policy. Okay, so the bit of news that is on the tongues and on the mouths of a lot of people, especially here in the UK, if not, then it should be, is Michaela School. Yes, here in Wembley, London. It's been rated outstanding by Ofsted. Apparently, it's known for its good education, but recently it outlawed its Muslim students from praying. Yes, that's right. 5 minutes at lunchtime in the playground on the side, outlawed, mate. The girl took the case to court. Much respect to her and her family as well, because some people just give it all that. These guys actually put some substance behind their complaints. They took the matter to court and the High Court ruled in favor of the school. Yeah, that's right. So you can't just blame the school now. There is an inherent thinking behind this discrimination, this very concerning and worrying act, frankly.
Breaking news this morning. Great
Big
news. You remember
What hypocrisy and what it's really stupid, actually, because I mean, if we know Britain for what it's supposed to claim it's about, it's all about freedom and democracy and you being able to express yourself the way you would want to, this freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and so on. But this just shows that, again, as I mentioned, this is hypocrisy, because a prayer, really, like, if we understand what the Muslim prayer is about, it's really not a threat to anyone. In fact, you are more in a space of threat, because you can't just enter and exit the salah as you'd like, yet there being whatever and whoever around you. You have to concentrate, you have to be in a certain mode. But I mean, the Muslim prayer, and perhaps this is a cultural difference that is being seen, which I know the far right really likes to push down and use as a tactic to get this type of multiculturalism out of the way, which they particularly don't like. But this is really stupid and really unnecessary, I'd say.
we brought this to you in January. This is the Michaela School in
Let's go through some of the points that they said. Justice Linden said she knew the school was secular. What does this exactly mean? That if you know the school is secular, then the prayer is going to be banned? The National Secular Society Humanists UK said faith has no place in school. Yeah? No place, mate. And the Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, said head teachers are best placed to make decisions in school. Now, there's a lot of red flags that pop up. Freedom.
Red flags indeed. I mean, teachers knowing best how to, conduct things for the children at school, certainly not. And I mean, this just kind of like emphasize that, because children are left at school for most of the day. This is where a lot of their time is being spent. You as the parent, your inculcation of whatever it is that you want to raise them in, for Muslims as Islamic, you as a Muslim parent, you want to instill Islamic values, and them going out into secular school would then leave the teacher to then push down their throats secular ways of life, liberal ways of life, which is quite the problem.
Oh, freedom, mate. When these people mention the word freedom in comparison to what's going on in our Muslim majority countries, it's like they're having an orgasm of sorts. Oh, freedom, mate. Oh. In other words, do what you want. Drink, gamble, swear at your parents. Hell, swear at the teachers. If you're a boy, you can say you're a girl. If you're a girl, you can say you're a boy. If you're a girl or a boy, you can say you're a cat. If you're a cat, you're a tree. Hey, that's freedom. But if a child comes along and says, hey, can I just pray in the playground, in the corner there? I'm going to put my own blazer down. You don't even have to give me a room.
So this is exactly the point. These types of ideologies that are actually allowed, which is within the liberal framework, homosexuality and transgenderism and so on and so forth, these things are encouraged. But if you look at it, it's harmful for the individual and on the societal level. But yet Islam, which advocates for, Islamic prayer, getting close, getting intact and close to God, these are things that are perhaps, certainly not seen as a good thing by these, the powers that be.
Oh, whoa. What's going on there, mate? No, not only are you not allowed to pray, you can't ever pray. Ha! Freedom, mate. Long live the Queen. Oh, damn, she's dead. Long live the king. She's got cancer. Flipping, someone live long. Next point, look at these evil Muslim countries forcing their rules, mate. Yeah, that's what they do. They force their rules. What is this? We need to go and liberate them. That's what we need to do and cover it in our news stories.
And this is the point that always bothers me, because if you look at Islamic history, we'll find that although the empire was Islamic, most of the land was ruled by Muslims. Muslims would allow, or Islam actually allows, that communities, Christian communities, Jewish communities, other communities are allowed to rule within themselves under their own laws and policies, right? Which is not what's happening, which is not what the West or Western ideology or secularism afford, which is actually affecting the whole world, right? For instance, even in Muslim countries today, we are not allowed to do certain things because there is this overarching UN style policies that are, inflicted upon the country, which kind of filters down into the community. So this kind of like, this type of claim that they say, there's freedom and democracy and you are able to practice the way you like is actually not true.
Again and again and again, but how superior our way of life is, mate. But you're also banning kids from praying. Hey. This is us, yeah? This is our secular religion. It's different to your, low down barbarous type. But by the way, it's freedom here, yeah? But just not your one, yeah?
And this is why I always claim that we should never have this inferiority complex. A Muslim should never have this inferiority complex because, again, their ideas, their ways of life is actually doing more havoc than good for, the individual and the society. The children are really not doing well under secular ways of doing things. And so, the school system just shows it for what it is. And this is just perhaps one aspect out of many, which shows that actually Islam is the more superior way of life.
Just shut it, Brownie. And the other thing, I've been hearing this for the last couple of weeks being shared by these far right pages. They keep saying these Muslims are flipping taking over. Forget the ZIONISTS that are moving around legislation that are lobbying your politicians into giving money and moving the military to get involved and fight in wars that frankly aren't their business. And forget those. London Mayor, mate, the one that, makes all the important decisions. Like on the Oyster card, you can go on multiple bus journeys on one Oyster tap.
What does that mean?
And he goes to these LGBT parades. Yeah, that guy. And he put some lights up, shaped like the moon, which has got no significance with Islam. But in Ramadan, he did that. Whoa, these Muslims are flipping taking over. God damn it, man. What taking over when we can't even win a simple court case? And what freedom of speech? Anytime criticism against Islam is brought up, everybody includes the state. It's state-backed responses that say, it's freedom of religion, mate. Burn the holy book. Flipping heck, mate. Yeah? What's wrong with that? What are you getting angry for? And when it comes to insulting Judaism and Hinduism, whoa, hate speech. Whoa, why are you even suggesting that?
Now, you see, this is the type of double standards that's afforded to, Muslims are afforded some things and then others are afforded other things. You can criticize Islam like you want to and say this and that about Islam and Muslims, but let's not talk about Judaism and now recently Hinduism being, part of this movement against Islam as well. You get this Hindutva, movements and so on that really speaks out against Islam. speaking out against them is also now this red herring, by the far right, which is again stupidity.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. Are you okay, Mr. Brown? Yeah. And the other point is teachers know best. Yeah. And you're supposed to be a school, but my question is, what are they actually teaching? If I'm sending my kid to a school, I want them to learn about multiculturalism. I want them to learn that there are other people as well that you need to learn to get along with. Have times changed that much that this thought is becoming weird and not saying our way is the best?
And Zishan here is making the point that, multiculturalism, we're supposed to get to know one another, people coming from different backgrounds. But even if you look at the left, people that you'd say who are, perhaps more sympathetic to Muslims, this is also still not true. Because if it is that you, as a Muslim, do not, you don't adopt, but rather you don't stand for LGBTQ or homosexuality, transgenderism, and so on, then, they view you as, someone who doesn't belong in the society. And of course, the far right, again, on the other side of the political spectrum, it's just plain racism and, wanting to maintain their own form of life within the land, which kind of like leaves Muslims in this middle ground, where to go. It's really tough out there, I'd say.
Way, and we're going to force you guys not to, because apparently there's no religion here. Yeah, it's supposed to be a secular country. But is this what secularism teaches? Forcing your belief upon others when we've got clear text that says there's no compulsion in religion, but apparently over here there is compulsion in secularism. Another point, I'm pretty sure I covered it in another point, but when they say, oh, in your country you can't do X, in your country you can't preach X, rather, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. Hang on a minute, I would say this is worse, because here you're targeting kids in schools and telling them, you doing this thing that you're doing, it's inferior to our way, yeah? It's against the rules. It's you're different. That's what you are. And this thing that you're doing, none of that, mate, yeah? You knew what school you were sending them to. It's a good school. Yeah, the judge quoted this as well. Our parents know it's a good school. Yeah. What good school? And prayer, I would argue, is needed in schools. Just like when I was a teacher, part of the syllabus was, and probably still is, teaching and encouraging kids to do transcendental meditation. Yes. Transcendental meditation, prayer, whatever you want to call it, mate, lowers the heart rate, and especially the Islamic prayer instills purity because you have to do wudu, yeah? Washing instills community because you're together with your fellow students rather than fighting, rather than swearing, rather than sharing inappropriate pictures, which, by the way, it's okay. You can do that, mate. Freedom, remember? I told you, you forgot. On top of that, it reduces stress.
Again, I say this is why we should not have this inferiority complex about what we do and how we do it as Muslims and what is prescribed by the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Because the results show again. Zishan makes the point about Salah, but of course, British or secular society don't, or the powers that be within secular society don't want this to happen. They don't see this as, they don't see Salah as this necessary thing.
Kids, if you are in prayer, relaxes you and gets you ready for the last two lessons of the day, frankly. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be the least focused in those lessons. This is going to help.
ITV News has learned there's been an alarming surge in council tax arrears. The number of children being excluded or suspended from primary schools in England is at the highest level for nearly 20 years.
And after hearing that grades are going down, respect of teachers are going down, teachers don't want to be teaching, this is what they're focusing on. This is what they're using their court time over. But kids, flipping, do whatever you want. Yeah, you want to have kids? You're a kid. You want to have a kid? No problem. We'll give you the Johnny, mate. Yeah, we'll teach you how to put it on. But praying? Whoa. I'm telling you that the country is going down the crapper. And you know what? These people are distracting you by saying, look, it's that brown. I told you.
And these far-right people don't even see things for what they are. It's these types of implementations and lifestyles and value systems that are actually ruining their societies. If you look at it, let's say far-right white movements, British nationalist movements, they want to save their race, they want to save their nation, let's say. But it's actually these types of policies and value systems that are ruining them, that is ruining their youth. And so I'd go even further to say that Islam actually solves the problem for them, but only if they really woke up and look at it for what it is, look at Islam for what it is, and how it can actually help their society. Fair enough, they don't want to adopt the the cultural aspects that Islam comes with. Nonetheless, the ideas behind what Islam has to offer is unmatched based on what they have to offer. So if they really want to save themselves, they should adopt Islam.
Told you, Mr. Brown's over there, mate. For God's sake, wake up. Priorities are being messed up. We're not doing anything, mate. We just go to our mosques, do our prayer. Let's be honest. If we had any power, then you would see at least one country doing something, when it comes to the whole Palestine issue. But unfortunately, it shows power that they actually exercise when they're using most of their money buying football clubs, investing in countries like the UK and the City of London, instead of investing in places that they really should be investing. If that's us taking over, mate.
Zishan is referring to the Gulf kingdoms and governments that are investing into these things. And this is true. Why can't they invest into, grassroots, foundational Islamic Muslim movements? It's so sad to know that this is the type of mentality that our supposed leaders have,
Burn your dictionary, because it's not doing you any favors. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Now, as a South African Muslim, I'd say that we are not too far off from cases like that, that which are happening in the developed Western world, let's say. I'd say that, our schooling system is very much secular and liberal. I mean, we don't really emphasize that much on religiosity or traditional value systems per se. We follow much of what the West has to offer in terms of, the value systems or ideas that they come with. And I mean, I think it's just a matter of time where such things do come into play. And perhaps you could say that there is, institutional and political powers that, would want to enforce such a thing, where perhaps a Muslim can't pray at a school. And it depends on which school, what type of school it is, and so on and so forth. Nevertheless, I'd say that we are not isolated from these types of occasions or events. Lastly, I think it's up to the parents to really see things for what they are, and then obviously protect their children from, from these types of things that are occurring. Perhaps find alternative means and methods to educate your children, and especially for Muslim parents who has a strong desire to both educate their children in a sense that they are able to survive in the modern world, but also that they don't let go of the Islamic value systems that is so much needed also within the modern Western world.